Okay. Good evening, everyone. We are starting formally the today introduction session to the Data 650 summer class. We are going to run two sections. And here are the presenter for this session, myself, Elena Gorsheva, Professor Ozan Oskan, and Professor Majed. With us is also Elena Batinskaya, our wonderful TA. So very quick about ourselves. I'm the program director for the data analytic program and the whole data science area at UMGC. I have been with UMGC more than, you can see, 20 years. And before that, I had extensive academic career, research and teaching, and I'm very dedicated right now to the curricula of the data science and analytic and to deliver the best to our students. That is what I love to do, and that is what my teaching experience and research have permitted me to do at the moment. So with us is Ozan. Ozan, can you say a few words about yourself?
Sure, Professor. Thank you so much. Hello, everyone. This is Ozan. I have been teaching almost 25 years, and I also work in the IT. I'm an agile coach. I'm coaching the IT teams to practice agile project management methodology. And I'm with the UMGC for almost 10 years. And I'm very happy to start another amazing term with you. Thank you so much.
Great. The professor for the other Data 650 session is Majed. Majed, can you say a few words about yourself? I
Yes.
didn't see anything in the slide because was running just 1,000 miles.
No problem at all. Thank you very much. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes. Good evening, everyone. Thank you very much. My name is Majed Algandur. I've been teaching and professional engineering almost 29 years. I teach big data, machine learning, data visualization, and I've been with the UMGC more than about 7 years. Years running fast here. So I'm so excited to be part of this class. Thank you.
Great. And with us is our very dedicated TA, Elena Batinskaya. Maybe some of you know her from previous classes. The wonderful thing is she's UMGC graduate. She finished a master degree with us, and she knows she's very close to what students need. So that her help is so valuable. Elena, can you say a few words about yourself?
Yes, as Elena said, most of you have met me in your earlier coursework. I have master's degree in ITech DBST from UMGC. I have been a TA for more than 15 years. Even before this program started, I was in a GBST. And you're going to hear a lot from me what not to do. In addition to telling you what to do, I'm famous for telling people what not to do. And you will see what I mean in this presentation later on. All right, it's back to you, Elena.
So the agenda is very packed today. We are going to give just a quick overview to what to expect from this class and what is the class about, because when students usually read the description of the course, get some idea, but as you know, our language and expression has to be put in context, and we not always understand the same thing when we read the same thing. Let's put it this way. So to straighten student expectation, since I have been running this program for more than 10 years and have been developed this course and have been teaching, I know how let's say, how many students are coming with expectation which do not align with our curricula and with what the course is about. So that's why we opt from the same beginning to start set up right expectation. And of course, we are going to talk about some very important issues, how to get help, and we will have also the opportunity to ask questions directly live as we run this section. That is the benefits of coming synchronously at the time, very valuable time for everybody, but we can touch base very rapidly speaking. So having said that, since we are talking about big data course, I'm going to focus that the course is not exactly about what big data is about how to deal with the big data. And big data has been in the horizon for quite a bit. It was in its hype, let's say 12 years ago. And the hype already is, let's say, settled down, but not the importance. Let's put it this way. So when we talk about big data, we are going mostly to talk in this course about the technology, how to deal with this data. And of course, the first thing is to recognize what big data is and to see how we can manage the storage, search, analytics, visualization of data which are classified as big data. And of course, as all we know, we will require special architecture, tools, and analytical method to do that. So here I want to make a pause and I have some traditional slide coming up, which traditionally you have been exposed to this term in other classes, and always the idea is volume. Let's put it this way in clear terms. Yes, the volume it started big data with the volume, but the volume has to do with the structure of the data. And when we talk about unstructured data like text and images, which dominate today businesses, we are talking about today, the big data term starts at some point talking mostly about volume. Today, we are talking about the complexity of text and images data and how to find the adequate computer architecture to deal with them, what should be the method to visualize and get insight, how to do machine learning for this data. And that is what we are mostly going to focus in this course, text and images, what is today in our world. So I have 3 historical slides. I'm naming them this way, but I'm still keeping them here so you can go as a reference and clarify every time you think as a data analyst about the problem you want to solve. It started with the necessity, like everything today related with technology. There is necessity from the business to have something to be more efficient, more competitive. And in the other hand is the technology. What level has reached the technology to offer a solution to such problem? And sometimes these solutions are so expensive, they are not affordable, they are not considered practical. So I'm talking about historical. So this history happened also with big data when companies like YouTube, Twitter were flooded, Yahoo with a ton of textual, ton of information, unstructured information, and infrastructure to deal with the data, not just to store it, but to query and to do analytical machine learning visualization. So the first thing was different type of databases, not just relational databases to deal with this type of data. And the other was how to access this data and how to process. And we are talking about tools like Hadoop and Spark, which evolved over the time. Hadoop, we did component to store data and to access data, and MapReduce to process data. Then more advanced tool appeared like Spark, in the horizon, and that is what is the contemporary more, let's say, valuable tool in big data. And of course, we are going to work with Spark and do practical project in this class. You always have to go historically and think about, when you think about data, about structured, unstructured, and let's put it this way, everything today is here down in the pyramid. There is, of course, businesses have structured data, but proportionally, the size of this structured data is so small, it's just the top of this pyramid. Most of the type of the data which any company in which you're going to perform your professional life are unstructured, and that is what it is, and that is what we are going to work about. And of course, according to the type of data, we have some stuff in the middle, like quasi-structured, semi-structured, because like in real world, not everything is black and white. We have gray color. And you have, as a data analyst, to make sure you understand your analytical problem, you understand the type of data you are dealing, probably with several type of data. That's are the today analytical project. And then select the most appropriate infrastructure to store this data, to access this data, to process this data, and to do machine learning with this data. As such, the method, of course, are not the same, and you can see some example here in this slide about the different type of data. This is very good to keep in mind when you think about your problem. And I, of course, separated totally standalone slide for the textual data and natural language processing. Why? Because the complexity of the natural language is so high. If we just think a little bit about the example here, I have noted with bullet point, and take just one of them about the complexity of our language, you will reflect and understand how difficult it should be for a computer to interpret correctly this language, and not to talk about to generate correctly text today, what we are talking about. Because complexity of kind of how can a house can burn up as it burns down. I mean, you understand, to make a computer correctly understand this language, interpret, and in addition to that, generate something as text which is useful to you as a customer is quite complex, and we can say that we have reached very advanced point on this understanding of natural language, and we even are capable generate text. Of course, with some limitation, you cannot expect of the today machine to be to substitute the human, but they are pretty good as they are as today. And here I'm making the transition how we are, how what we do in this course is directly related what is the contemporary AI. Why? Because the contemporary AI has evolved from big data, machine learning, and some research done in the last 50 years with the classical AI. That is what it is. So big data and machine learning are the heart of the contemporary AI. Without big data, there is no AI. Without machine learning, there is no AI. And that is what we are talking about. So our field of study just blend with what we start talking today indistinctly, and you can find this in the literature. You read, and the word machine learning and AI is used in many instances indistinctly, like either one, whichever, many times. Of course, as a data scientist, we understand the difference that AI is broader than this. AI is defined as let's say, to mimic human capability and mostly intellectual capability. Of course, it's physical with the robot. So that is in general the definition. The mimicking of human at the moment is in the stage not to substitute the human, but to help the human and enhance human capability, make us more productive, and use our human intelligence, which is still not substitutable. It cannot be substituted by AI at the moment. We don't know, let's say, the future in the next 10, 15 years, what is going to bring us. But at the moment, we are talking about contemporary AI infused, which help human, enhance human capability. Is not to substitute. At the end, the ultimate decision is made by human in any system, although all, let's say, the system can give excellent suggestion, recommendation, but the last step in any decision is human made. That is the stage today. Because we still, why? Because we still do not, are not 100% confident on the recommendation of the AI system. When this 100%, we are, let's say, confident 99%, and this is not good enough for most of the system. If there is a system in which 99% is good enough, then we can have the AI without any human, and we talk about autonomous system. Do you understand? But it depends of the problem, and in many critical, let's say, in many critical activity in our life, 100% is only acceptable. Decision for healthcare is not acceptable with 99%. You understand? So that's why at the end of the day, always the human is gonna make the decision. But things which are repetitively, and even 99% is okay, we are totally okay today to have AI recommendation to function autonomously. So with that, I present two slides. One, which is just the taxonomy, where the things we are studying in the program and the way they evolve are related each with other as a deep learning part of the machine learning, and they are part, let's say, central part of what is artificial intelligence. And we have outreaching data science because it's not 100% matched with both of them. So data science has some other, let's say, some other task assigned, which are not AI. So it's not 100% match, but pretty much a lot, let's put it this way. I also want to point that the course we are going to deliver is in the middle of a revolution, which started the last revolution, let's put it this way, with the generative AI, which started several years ago and get to some very high point past year. And of course, so what when we talk about the generative AI, we're talking about specific deep learning model, which up to here in the program, let's put it this way, in data science, we're talking about machine learning, and usually machine learning give us recommendation, prediction. So we built a machine learning model for prediction, recommendation, and so on and on, right? That is the way we have been doing data science. With the generative and how the machine learning work, we train the model with data, and we get the output, after training, we can pour data which we get like everyday problem we have to solve in our workplace, and we will get the a recommendation for this specific data, a prediction for this specific data. So we train the model and we get as an outcome some solution recommendation, right? The generative AI is the next stage of the use of the deep learning, very specific deep learning model named Transformer, which are pre-trained with data, like the machine learning model. They are pre-trained with data, but this pre-trained model can generate data. They can generate text, they can generate images, they can generate audio. That is what the stage we have reached up to now. And of course, we are going forward with such a speed that I don't know in 6 months where we will be. But as such, you will get taste of all this stuff in this course, because we have platform like the one I have here, in which data scientists can obtain automatically the machine learning model generated, the visualization, data preparation, and then his productivity will increase enormously. Of course, you studied AutoML in Data 640, you know what I'm talking about, and this is evolving with such a speed that is going already like a part of the task and description, job description for the data scientist. You will have to be exposed and have a minimum, let's say, exposure and understanding how this platform work, so you can use them for the benefits as a data scientist in your job. Any question up to here? No? So I'm moving fast, not fast enough, I guess. We have to keep in mind that all these things talking about big data, we need for big data different approach to store and access data. Not the traditional SQL database, not the traditional data warehouse. And as such, what has evolved as a viable infrastructure for big data is having the data in the cloud and with services, all the services provided in the cloud. So data and processing everything in the cloud all together, because you understand with big data, the paradigm is you don't move the data to the computation, you move the computation to the data. This is was the premise when big data computation gives some, let's say, advancement with Hadoop. You bring the computation to data, and that is what is the adequate architecture for big data. And you have everything, data and computation in the same place, so you don't have to move huge amount of data through channels. And as such, since this is what it is in the job place, in this course, you will be working everything in the cloud, big data in the cloud. It doesn't matter, you can do some of the stuff in your computer. That's not the issue. We will get you exposed to how to do this in the cloud, so you are at least minimum prepared for the job place where dealing with big data, you will have to deal in the cloud. So that is the purpose, to do most of the stuff in the cloud. And of course, we are going to continue the same approach like in other data courses. When you will read, you will understand the concept, you will learn tool, and you will use this tool to solve problems. That is what we are going to do, and you will have 4 major assignments, which are practical assignments based on what you learned as a theory and what you learned as a tool to solve. And for each of them, you will learn different tool. It's not just, oh, I'm going to do Python or I'm going to do R. No. In this case, you will, and that is the most, let's say, heavy part of this course, that you will have to learn many different tools, at least to the beginning level, in order to use them and solve problems for big data. But we have tried and already with experience to make this more manageable for students. So we have something like training tutorial, no graded exercises to prepare you for the major project. The major project are 4 of them, 4 major assignments, but for each of them, we prepare several exercises to prepare you to more, let's say, to be more prepared to take the big assignment, which is heavy on the final grade and heavy on the time you have to dedicate to complete the work there. So up to here, I wanted just to mention how proud we are in this program. We have students participating in a competition. Right now, we have students participating in conference, presenting. So just the slide is here as a reference, and you can just stay tuned when opportunity arises. Then you can jump if you have, because all these opportunities are, let's say, they are not part of the curricula, they are extracurricular, but I can tell you, students who have participated have not only enjoyed it, they just reach the next level of preparation, of confidence. Having them in competition when they compete with another 200 team and they rank it in the first 3 or 5 places, just boost their confidence, and they were so successful when going to interview because they start thinking, oh, really, what we do in this program is valuable because we were able to apply this, compete with other students from other universities, and we saw how good we are prepared compared with them. So if opportunity arise, I would suggest you consider to find time. Of course, I understand everybody has full-time job, a lot of personal life responsibility. This is understandable, but if you can, it's highly recommended. So the next slide is more about the organization of the assignment, the grading, and some practical stuff of the course. I would like to give the word to Ozan, and then to Elena. Ozan?
Yes, Professor, I'm here.
Okay, can you talk about the schedule?
Sure. Thank you so much. So as Professor mentioned, we are going to have 4 major assignments. Okay, you can think about like 4 major sections of the courses. So at the end of the second week, we are going to get the assignment 1, which you're going to learn big data, Hadoop, and analytics on Hadoop. And the third, from 3rd to 6th, we will be doing Spark and machine learning in Spark, and you will get the assignment 2. And from 7 to 9, we are going to focus on text analytics, sentimental analysis, and memory analytics. And from 10 to 12, we are going to learn and focus chatbots. So at every of these major assignments, we are going to have help sessions. We are going to have ungraded assignments. So we will be supporting you and your learning from a lot of different perspectives. Again, the first assignment is going to be HBase. The second assignment is going to be on Spark. Third one is going to be sentiment analysis, and the fourth one is going to be on building chatbots using AI Watson. And we are going to have a couple of quizzes as well. And every section we are going to have discussion boards, which they are going to contribute a lot for your assignments as well. So for grading, we are going to have a lot of assignment descriptions and assignment guidelines for you to complete. For you to, like, if you meet the minimum requirements, you will get around 80 to 90% of the grade. But if you go beyond the minimum requirements, if you give more than the required minimum requirements, then you will push your grade from 90 to 100. And there are a lot of ways to increase your grade, which you can, add depth analysis. You can create some critical discussions of your results. So don't post your results. Also add some critical discussions on your and supporting arguments on your results.
Great, thank you, Ozan. Elena, can you talk a little bit about the book access and everything else?
So if you look at the course content, you have several links where you access excellent O'Reilly book chapters, and it's free. But what you'll notice that you'll be asked to select the university, and the university is not going to be listed, right? So you're just going to select not listed. Then it's going to ask you for your email. Make sure at this tab that you put your student email. Do not put your Gmail. Do not put your Hotmail or Yahoo. It has to be a student email, all right? So all of you hopefully know what your student email is, right? It ends with student@umgc.edu. Those are excellent chapters. Don't miss out, okay? And next one, help with technology and software. So by this time, most of you know that you have a page in the classroom where you submit the ticket. So please, do not call the UMGC help desk. They don't know what your assignment is, okay? What you need to do is you need to use a sales form. You need to use the form in the classroom to submit the ticket, all right? So, for example, your first assignment is going to be to set up your IBM Cloud account, right? You might have some questions that cannot be easily resolved in the classroom because that may require scheduling a screen share with me, right? So please do not wait until the last minute. You need to submit the ticket. And most of you should be familiar with the form by now, but I need to tell you, very important, do not select when you ask to enter the case type, you want to make sure that you choose the option where it says virtual lab, right? So it's on the next slide, right? Oh, yeah, next one, yes. Yes, UMGC virtual lab support. Because if you select the wrong case type, what's going to happen is your case is going to go to different team, and it might take several days for the case to be forwarded to the right place. All right. So, and I try to answer as quickly as possible, and it's going to be answered in the order that the cases were received. Okay. So that one, next one is just a summary of technologies that you're going to use in the next slide, right? So you're going to use the DB2 service, SQL, you're going to use the Watson Cognitive, Watson Callback, and we're going to be talking about it in more details as we go, right? So our next one, this is just a screenshot. You need to set up your IBM Cloud account. And right now they give you access for 1 year. But when the year ends, you're gonna follow the same instructions to obtain another code and extend your access for another year. As long as you still have your student email, you should be able to do that, and just keep practicing, keep learning more stuff on IBM Cloud, right? So that's a main IBM Cloud, and IBM Cloud has a sub-platform where it's called IBM Cloud Pak, and it's also known as Watson Studio in some of the readings. And well, important for the first assignment, you don't need to install anything. Please do yourself a favor. Do not install anything. First assignment is theoretical, right? For the HBase assignment is theoretical. While you're working on HBase assignment, right, you're going to be working on setting up your IBM Cloud account. So by the time you're going to hit the Spark tutorial assignment, you should have your IBM Cloud account up and running. Don't wait until the last minute. It's not only because the assignment, your submission will be late, but because you want to, the goal is to make sure that you have your IBM Cloud account up and running by the time you get to the Spark tutorial assignment, right? So, so we're gonna talk, there will be a video in more details, but this one is, do you remember history? How many of you like to watch Jeopardy? So the whole idea is there was a contestant, Ken, who is now actually the host of the program, and they had an AI computer who actually beat him. He was a long-term, contestant, long-term winner. So this is just a history. That's for your reference. Okay, here it comes. What not to do. Most of the assignments, you cannot do them in one sitting. Trust me, you cannot. All right? So you have to start early. And please do not submit IBM tickets. You need to submit the Salesforce tickets. All right? Unless you're explicitly instructed to by me or faculty, but more likely it's not going to happen. All right? Salesforce, I do the screen share with you, and if I don't know the answer, I'll work on it, do research on my end, and the professor is going to be aware. So it's going to be documented that you have the ticket in progress, okay? And please do not deactivate your IBM Cloud account once you have it up and running. And do not let it expire, okay? Do not let it expire. So that one covers that. But what should you do? Well, it helped me as a student to go by 24-hour rule. I aim to finish the work 24 hours in advance of due date. Why? Well, because what happens if you have a last-minute internet outage or power outage or anything like that, right? Well, if you get it early, you're covered. Or if you sometimes you realize, oh, wait a minute, I forgot to add something. You still have time to do that. Please do all ungraded exercises, okay? Secret, but I never told you that, but secret. There could be something as an ungraded exercises today. On the next assignment, you will see it maybe on a different data somewhat, but it's gonna be graded. Just remember that, okay? But I never told you anything, okay? You want to spend necessary time, you want to read announcements. Extremely important because sometimes things come up. IBM Cloud gets updated as we speak. Sometimes it could be perhaps a Spark version gets deprecated, right? Things happen, or maybe something has to be done differently because they ran an update on IBM Cloud. So you want to pay attention to those things, okay? There will be announcements. And you need to submit the Salesforce cases and make sure that please your email is up to date, or otherwise if your Salesforce email or your email in the system is not up to date, you won't be getting the responses, right? So please do yourself a favor, make sure your email is correct, okay? And next one, I just create a quick summary where to post your questions. If it's a general questions such as due date and how your work is going to be graded, question such like a concept, anything about syllabus, right? That goes to questions for instructor. There is also a separate discussion topic for any broken links. As you know, Things web is subject to change, right? If any link is broken, please report. It will be appreciated and looked into. Salesforce, that's for IBM Cloud. Any issues you run into, anything with IBM Cloud service that we're gonna use. And I do help students with troubleshooting the code errors, all right? So, and if you need help with ungraded exercises, please do ask anything like software related questions, questions about data, question about, we're going to talk about capacity units more. And if you see something, well, what I mean by major discrepancy, if they change the color or shape of the button, it's not a major discrepancy. But if they change the steps, right? Because they keep on, the environment keeps on updating as we speak. So it's the course content was prepared in advance. So it's quite possible that there could be slight changes along the way to the steps. All right. So if anything, well, on my end, I'm going to do my best to test each assignment before it's released, but very often things happen in the middle of the assignment. So instructors will be aware. So, but if you do not report the issue, the instructors don't know, nobody knows that you're struggling, nobody knows that you ran into. And when the work is due, when it's late, it's too late, right? But if you have a question about your specific grade or anything confidential that instructor needs to know, that goes to instructor. That doesn't go to Salesforce, all right? I guess, did I cover anything I forgot to cover? Well, and that's it. All right, so.
Sorry, I'm on mute. That was the Planet presentation, and we are opening the forum for questions. You guys are welcome to ask your question. You can do whatever you want in the chat. You can speak because there is not many people. There is no problem to unmute yourself and speak.
I have one question, and I apologize if this got covered. I had to step away for a minute. Is there any of the tools or software that we need that cannot be run on a Mac?
Nothing will be run in any computer. Everything is in the cloud. In the cloud, it doesn't matter what computer you have. That is the story with big data. You cannot, even if you can, we are requiring that everything is run in the cloud because this is the training you will get for the job. Everything with big data should be run in the cloud.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
And you don't need to purchase anything, and you don't need to put your credit card information or anything.
This is Dr. Majed. I want just to add also, you are using the Watson IBM as the platform, and you find all the software that you need within to run the Spark inside that Watson.
Great, thank you.
Any other question? Don't be shy. There is no question which, don't feel bad if your question, you can feel, I shouldn't be asking. There is not such a thing. I see in the chat. How about Hadoop? So I don't know what is the intent of the question. I'm going to give my interpretation. Are you asking, are we going to do something with Hadoop? The first 2 weeks, yes, but we are not going to do practical stuff for several reasons. We mostly are going to work in the next version of big data platform, which is Spark. Hadoop still exists in many companies because company invested a lot of money, but Hadoop is outperformed by Spark. So we are going to teach practically, the project is going to be with Spark with the last I told you. Of course, the concept because the basic, let's say the basic concept, how to store and access big data and deal with big data was Hadoop. And of course, as a historical, let's say, foundation of the storage and processing of big data, we are going to pay some attention in the first 2 weeks, but not practical assignment with Hadoop. The practical will be with Spark, which is continuation of that idea in more advanced way. Again, the same, because the main idea of big data, which Hadoop brought historically, was bring the computation to data. That was. And then map and reduce the way to access data when data is stored in several instances in distributed clusters. So data is stored in distributed cluster, and for let's say, for not only for high performance, that is not for high performance, that is mostly for fault tolerance. For the point of view of fault tolerance, data is stored in multiple location, and the main computer architecture is distributed cluster. So this idea continue with the next stage, which is Spark, which has storage in memory, which is much more faster than to have each cluster as a separate computer, and you need to do transfer between one and the other. So for the sentiment analysis, you will select the text. We are going to do sentiment analysis, for instance, on Twitter data. Twitter data, which you can choose the Twitter data. In order to do sentiment analysis, we will use an architecture, IBM architecture, which gives you, let's say, in-memory analytics, and because you are going to deal with stream of real data from Twitter. So you are going to study 3 different things in this assignment of sentiment analysis. It's not just the sentiment itself you are going to discover in the text, but also the technology with which you are going to work in this type of problem, because this type of problem requires special computational architecture. Did I answer your question? Yes, Spark is in the bottom. Did I answer the question of sentiment? Any other question?
Hi, I had a question, and maybe this was in the syllabus also, but was there going to be like several future live meetings like this that will cover like walkthroughs or just
Yes.
kind of recapping?
I'm
stuff?
going to show the schedule of this meeting right now. I'm scrolling up to find the slide. Here it is. So we are going to have a walkthrough.
Oh, I see.
You see Spark walkthrough is going to be week 3. Then you are going to have another walkthrough, which is the question and answer with the machine learning on Spark, which is in addition. So one thing is how to get used to use Spark, and then how to do machine learning on Spark. We're going to stay on Spark for 4 weeks. And this is a major assignment. So they will be 2 walkthroughs. one in week 3 and one in week 5. And the assignment is due in week 6. Then will be a walkthrough with the dedicated technology for sentiment analysis, which I mentioned that you will be using in memory analytics in this for this assignment to analyze sentiment in Twitter data. So the walkthrough is to get you easy with this technology for sentiment analysis with the in-memory analytics. And then the last one is going to be week 11 related with the intelligent chatbot you will be developing, and it's going to be walked through after you learn enough to be able to navigate the tool provided, because you will be using some preview tool which are going to facilitate the build of the chatbot. Okay, so we're talking about 1, 2, 3, 4 sessions.
Thank you. That's great to know.
But make sure you are ready for those sessions. You know, like if you review the assignment and come to those help sessions, they're going to be much more useful because you can ask questions.
Okay, my name is Gracian. I have a question on assignment 1,
Yes.
part 2 in record 1. Somewhere we have a 4 instructor, and for the instructor ID is just only 1.
Yes, because we are doing this session with all this, there are several parallel sections of 650 going on. You have for your section, your instructor, I don't know who is, but in the class list, his name is gonna appear. It should be either Ozan or Majed, one of the two. Okay? Can you look in the class list?
No, I'm talking about how do you call it? Assignment 1. If you go to assignment 1, part 2 of the assignment, the record 1, it gave us some information about the student and the course ID, and there are 4 instructors in the course, how do you call it, in the record 1, but it has only 1 instructor ID.
Yelena, can you answer this question? Because I don't remember where is this.
Oh, okay. Well, basically you have, what you need to do is you need to create sort of like a base table design, right?
Yeah.
So yes, so the whole idea is that you're given several sample records. I think it's 3 or 2, right?
Yeah.
And based on that, you need to create a sort of like a design. But the whole idea is that I should be able to add courses on the fly and the students' grade. Students complete the course, and I should be able to easily add a new course on the fly without actually taking the database down, right? I should be able to add an instructor on the fly. That's the whole idea. And yes, just for the purpose of that problem, the same course could have multiple instructors like we have here, right? An instructor, could have multiple sessions. Why not? And it's more like a historical, the students, which courses they've taken, and which grades they received, and who taught the course, right? But what you need to keep in mind is that, well, have you watched the little video for part 1? So
Yes.
column names may store data, right? Can they? So cannot we store the course name inside the column name? Well, think about it. This is requires a little bit of out of the box thinking, I would say, right? So what can we do to be able to easily pull which students took the specific course, or something like which instructors taught the specific course, something like that. Well, you
Yeah.
need to propose a solution, right? So your solution might be different, might be slightly different from your classmate's solution, but it should be very easy. It should be possible to add new courses on the fly. There could be as many courses as in a UMGC catalog, and in a fall, new courses coming up, right? So right now, for example, well, there will be new courses that we don't have at the moment. There are changes in the program, and with time, right? It should be very easy to add stuff. That's the whole idea. Adding stuff on the fly. Does it
Okay.
make sense?
Okay, I got it.
All right. So I gave a little hint in there. All
Thanks.
right. Sure. I hope I answered the question. So, yeah. Anything else?
Any other question? No, I think we had just 1 hour session. I think it's productive. And if there are not more questions, we will end the session and wish everybody a nice evening.
Thank you very much, guys.
Thank you so much.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye.
Oh,
Yelena, you stop recording and pull it the recording, right?
yeah. I almost forgot to click the stop. Okay, I need to stop. Yes. And then I'm gonna send, yes, I'm gonna convert it and I'm gonna send it
Okay.
that and the slides, okay?
Excellent. Thank you.
Sure.